Welcome everyone to the third forum of Travel Tech US and Canada. Here we have a big shark today, Bruce Jordan, Kerem from Hotelrunner, Sarah Dandashy from Ask Concierge, Nima, Anvar for GUESTCHAT. Welcome aboard. Thank you to be here with us. For those that is the first time that you are watching us here, Travel Tech has been created to deliver high caliber education and inclusion to our trade internationally. We already impact in more than 143 countries. So we hope to keep this project the entire year and the next and the next and the next one, providing good knowledge because here you learn a lot. So welcome everyone. Let's do a good show today. And we'll start straight away to presenting our special guest today. So first of all, before I forget, the Women's Day was Tuesday. However, the Women's Day is every day. Happy Women's Day for everybody. Sarah Dandashy, the Women's Day is every day.
And all the women that are tuning in.
So I would like to introduce you to Bruce Jordan, Managing Partner, Hotel Guest Management. Bruce, it's your time. You have 3 minutes to present yourself, your company. Please go ahead, my friend.
What's going on, everybody? It is Bruce Jordan at MJF Hotels, and I'm so glad to be here. My company is Hotel Guest Management. I have a couple of shows. One of is Hotel Management Do's and Don'ts, and the other one is True Hotel Leaders and the Hotel Insider. I've been doing this for over 20 years, had a lot of fun in hotels, and I'm working on my delivery. So I've been taking some of Joe Biden's public speaking classes, and unfortunately for me, I passed.
The bar is set high.
Let's put it in there. Zing.
So let's go to the next one. That is Sarah Dandashy, travel expert, content creator at Ask a Concierge. Sarah have two books that is a bestsellers, is a TV show expert, a celebrity. Here's the book. Don't forget to buy that book. Don't forget to buy the book of Sarah. It's a bestseller. It's a really bestseller. It's a pleasure having you here, Sarah. Thanks so much for your presence.
Yeah.
Go ahead, lady.
Thank you. Thank you so much. By the way, you are totally hired to be my PR manager. My goodness. What an introduction. What an introduction. First of all, it's so great to be here. I'm Sarah Dandashy, behind the brand Ask a Concierge. A bit of my background, I worked in the luxury hotel space for over 18 years, over 15 of those years as a Les Clés d'Or concierge. So the gold keys of concierge. So when it comes to very much understanding hotel operations and the guest experience, that definitely is what I was living, eating, breathing, and doing for so much of my adult life. I also, several years back, ended up basically doing the same travel advice that I was doing at the concierge desk, and then went ahead and transferred that to the social media space. And really was very lucky in regards to that. Kind of figured, who wants to hear me talk about travel? Well, we're going to dive into that later. But we all know that a lot of people really love travel, obviously, and they want to hear from those that are working in the industry. And we're so lucky for all of us to get to work in the travel and hospitality space because people are hungry for that. They're hungry for that inspiration. They're hungry for that information. And so it's been a great transition. I now do a lot of marketing videos, spokesperson work, talk about travel on TV and on webinars like this. And then, yes, most recently, a book just came out, Hospitality from Within, where I share my hospitality knowledge and insights that I've learned over the years from working behind the desk. And then also really great stories from other concierges from around the world that really just emphasizes that hospitality is universal. So there you go. I'll stop talking for now, but that's a little bit about me, my background, and what I do now.
Awesome, Sarah. What you can do later on, send them in the private chat, your Amazon link for your book. I'm going to set it up and all the links here for the people who are interested to go and book your book directly in Amazon. Welcome. Thank you too much to be here. I'm very happy to have you here. So let's go to your next one. That is Nima Anvar, CEO at GUESTCHAT. Nima, welcome, man. Nice to have you here. Welcome, and you have your 3 minutes to express yourself.
I appreciate it. It's a big pleasure, really an honor. I am among giants. And I appreciate the opportunity. I've actually been a hotel manager for 23 years and have seen everything that you can imagine, as a hotel manager. And it wasn't how I was trained, but it's what I learned on the job. And I've been really thankful for that. And really, right before COVID hit, I started working on GuestChat and we started developing that. And, we live, eat, and sleep hotels. I live in a hotel, have lived in a hotel, raised our children in a hotel. We live all day, night here, so we see it all. In fact, we have a show called Don't Stop the Carnival, and we started on Monday, which is basically every single day there's something, there's an iguana in the room or somebody's doing something. So what I did was in 2019, essentially, I allowed my son to take over because he was really raised here inside this hotel, and he is way better a hotelier than I am. And I moved over into the chat service, in essence, doing automated chat for hotels because I thought that there was an opportunity there. And and that's what I've been doing since COVID, developing, and we're getting started and just love it. And I'm very thankful for being here.
Thank you so much, Nima, to be here. We welcome you and thanks to be here again. So let's go to our last but not least, Sezer, Global Partnership Manager at Hotelrunner. Welcome, and please introduce yourself and your company and let us know everything you do, man. Welcome.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. So as you mentioned, I'm Kerem, Global Partner Accounts Manager with Hotelrunner based in our London office. And our mission at Hotelrunner is to build a bigger travel economy by unlocking all untapped opportunities for every player in the global ecosystem. How we do that via our vision is to digitally transform every accommodation by providing them with a freemium technology platform, making them more efficient, more visible, and of course, more online bookable. Make these accommodations directly accessible online by creating a network and onboarding global and local travel industry players to grow that network. So, we do really have grand visions for the industry, especially on sort of connecting the industry. And, we're really passionate about that. And, I really look forward to sort of learning a great deal from everybody here today and very excited for it. So thank you again.
Thank you, Karen, to be here. I repeated our subject today will be how does social media, statisticals, and smart technology impact the way we travel? So this is a great subject that is on the top because we're going to talk about a lot of social media. That is the point for get more revenue, to get more sales. And to don't lose in time, let's go with Bruce Jordan talking about this topic. Let's go with the first question here. What are the top changes we are seeing on social media for the travel industry? Bruce, tell us about it, please.
One of the things that I've been seeing is that a lot of hotels they're seeing that regular posts just aren't getting as much engagement when it comes to social media. So a lot of them, they've been converting over to videos that even if it's just little small 5, 10, 15-second videos, they've been trying to get a lot more video out there because they see that the reach is getting a lot further versus, just a little regular post here and there. But what I'm still seeing a lot of hotels fall short on YouTube. They're not producing enough videos for YouTube. YouTube is like the #2 search engine in the world. So that's the first place that you want to make sure your videos are on. And the thing with YouTube, the way the algorithm works is that the more videos that you post, the more videos it has to show the watcher, the viewer, the customer to sell your hotel. So if they watch one video of your hotel, YouTube will say, hey, they like this content. And let me go ahead and keep giving this content since I see that they like it so much. That's actually how I met Sarah. I seen one of her videos and they just kept throwing her videos in front of my feed. Hey, I like this content. Let's go ahead and since he likes watching Sarah, let's go ahead and give him some more videos on her YouTube channel. So the more video that you put out there, the better you are, the better chances you have of the platform selling your hotel without a cost. It doesn't cost you anything additional. So why not just get your hotel sold? Get that video out there because that's what the traveler want to see. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be something.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you so much, man. Anybody wants to tell something about it or add something? Please go ahead.
I do,
Nope.
unless anybody else wants to go first. Go first.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Okay. So I love, first of all, what Bruce is saying, by the way. YouTube is such an uncharted territory when it comes to creating content for hotels. And if there's, listen to him when he says that, because that is definitely working in your favor when it comes to just sharing a little bit more about what the experience is like in your hotel. The other side of it is, and I love that that Bruce even touched on this, is that it doesn't have to be perfect. The great thing is that viewers are far more forgiving than they've ever been. In fact, if it's almost too polished and professional, they're like, that's boring traditional marketing material. They want to see real. They want to see something that feels like they're there and they're experiencing being at that destination. So yes, it's great to have those beautiful, like traditional marketing photos, but don't let that be the only part of your social media strategy, because it loses a little bit of personality. So tap into individuals that are staying at your property, give it some personality. And also, I think the other thing is really look to have somebody on property that understands how to tell your story, the story of the business, because that then becomes engaging. And especially when it's shared in real time, relatively real time, it increases engagement tenfold. So we'll dive into way more of this, but hopefully some nuggets on that.
I would like to add something. For example, when you work with YouTube, for example, if you have a good programmer, you can also, at the end of your videos, you can show the experience of your hotel and set a hyperlink through the video to another video or direct sales. So you can use videos on YouTube to sell. If you don't know that, not only on the history or on the back, you need to program that, okay? But you can use that, and that is a good point, because normally we use that on Facebook, we use that on Instagram, we use that on LinkedIn, but normally we don't see hotels using that on YouTube, and you can use that on YouTube also. So do it. That is my point.
I'd also say something too about that. I think that the idea these days is that people are, how should I say, and you guys will say better, but I think people are very limited in their time span and attention span. And so, when you're doing those videos, there has to be a sort of unfortunately, I don't want to call it a sound bite, but sometimes it has to be almost, if you're getting past 3 to 4 minutes, you might just be, wearing them down. And in fact, like with Don't Stop the Carnival, the whole thing was take your phone, point it at something, and just record without any edits for 2 minutes. And if you can do that, and if you can be entertaining or informative, and at the same time engaging, that's it. 2 minutes, 3 minutes max.
Awesome.
Love that.
Yeah, I would agree on many of those points, but also I think the sort of demographics that are using these platforms are very important as well. So somebody that watches a lot of YouTube may not necessarily use other social media platforms, or they might use those more. So for example, when I use YouTube, I sort of use it more for long form videos, 10 to 5-10 minutes, sometimes a bit longer. If I'm looking for something a lot quicker, I might use another platform, Instagram Reels, TikTok, etc., which I'm going to go into sort of in a lot more detail, hopefully shortly. So really, it is sort of tailoring the content around, the demographics that are using those platforms, why they're using those platforms, what are they kind of usually looking for on those platforms. So, short videos work great, but sometimes somebody might want a bit more in depth, or, they might want a sort of review style video or whatever it may be, per personal experience. So, really sort of factoring in and tailoring it to who you're trying to appeal to and who is using these platforms, especially YouTube, I think is important consideration as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So let's go to the next question. That is going to be to Sezer Dandashy. Sezer, why is social media important for business within the travel industry? You're going to repeat the question. Why is social media important for business within the travel industry? That's
Well,
a huge answer.
that is it's a huge answer, but I think this is a great topic, and I really would love to hear obviously from everybody else on the panel as well too. I mean, it should go without saying, but I think I'm a big fan of stats, and just because it kind of helps understand the realm of what we're playing in, because there are still people that are like, social media, not really into it. But if you are overlooking social media, you are doing yourself such a disservice. I think one of the most interesting stats that I found out there was it's like 84% of millennials make their travel decisions based off of what they see on social media. Now, it can be either from personal friends that they know, or it can also be from from following influencers or specific brands. But basically, what we're seeing is that in general, some of our largest consumers of travel are making their travel decisions based off of what they see online. They're going there for inspiration. They're going there for knowledge. They're going there to just have a sense. And on the flip side, and this is what's also another thing that's so important, is that even not influencers, just everyday travelers, they want to share their travel experiences as well too. And it's something like 75% of people that travel share their experience on social media. So that is just a huge amount of people that they're wanting to share it, and people are hungry for that, especially now after the past 2 years where everybody's had different levels of comfort when it comes to travel. And but at the end of the day, regardless of that, people are dying to see what's out there and get back out there themselves. So, I mean, if anything, it's a huge part of brand awareness, and that's very much where where your travel consumers are playing is where you want to be visible, and that's on social media.
Yeah.
I would like to add something also. When you said, for example, that we have a lot of people that is engaging, or uh, they tag also the hotels. Hotels, when you tag a hotel, you can track that information. That means you can use that information to upsell your own hotel. You can understand better the experience of your guests. That means you can make more revenue up to that. Not only on that, also when we use social media, if you look into, for example, the regular ones, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn if it's a corporate, um, you can use direct bookings for those. Every time that you post, doesn't matter if you spend money to promote an ad or you do just an organical. It's very important that every time you post something, you post with direct link to get revenue. It's important to tag everything what you do, because you need to have data to understand what happens. If you just post without understanding what happened, because I can have a different public. For example, I'm going to give an example. I can be resort, but the resort, normally my guests use iPhone, and normally the average is women that see between 27 till 45. They have kids. So the decision makers there is not the woman, it's the kid that is using the phone, mom, for example. Okay. So on Instagram, I see that I have more women than men. However, there I have a more percentage of bookings because I track that information, and I see in the tracking is the man that pays. So in that point, it's not a kid. So my strategy on the social media is so important to understand the data. If I understand clearly, I'm gonna make my hotel sales directly more than 50 to 60%. And that means I don't will sell 60, 70, or 80% or 90% of my hotel or my hotel chain for OTAs or tour operators. So if I apply those tags, if I apply money to understand what happens, who is my really customer, then I have the true to keep my real client. And when you keep your real client, that client will come in back. So social media is so important. And a lot of people said, Facebook is that. Come on, Facebook is not that at all. It's Facebook is dead. Come on, it's a metaverse coming just around the corner. You have WhatsApp. You can do WhatsApp campaigns. What happens when you do WhatsApp campaigns? Do you have some data? I'm sure 99.9% of hotels don't have it. So you don't have the data. What do you do? Nothing at all. It's just spending the money, spending time, and maybe doing spam and maybe making people hate you or customers that love you hating you back. So that is a problem. So you need to be really specific. And to be specific will be more data. Sorry, I'm a specialist on that also. So
and you're passionate, which is great. But you've got
yeah, I love what I do.
Absolutely. One thing that I did notice what she said is that customers and clients and guests are taking their own videos and posting them, which is why businesses really need to pay attention, because they need to be able to control their own narrative. Like you if a customer grabs a camera and takes some pictures, sometimes they may not play out in your favor, but if you're on top of things, you're controlling your own narrative. You're showing every day or every week or every month, like, this is what we're about, this is what we're doing, these are the changes that we're making. It really, really helps control the flow.
Definitely, I really agree, and it's actually a great additional resource that you don't need to really invest in or spend a lot of time in. Is actually other people's content about your product or your hotel or location, whatever it may be. These other people, they might be influencers, they might just be regular sort of customers, guests, etc. But these platforms allow for huge amounts of reach, especially based on algorithms, etc. So essentially, you have the resources in-house almost sometimes that sort of can promote your brand, and you can then incentivize that as well yourself by saying post a TikTok video of your experience and receive 10-25% off your nightly stay, or offer a free night for maybe a sort of a series of 1, 2, 3 videos, etc. But really sort of leveraging your customers, your guests experiences on the platforms. You don't even need to have your own social media platform. You can sort of use other, that can really work for you as well.
For sure. You're asking just what Paula asked us for an Ask Sweet Paula Carreno. Thank you to be here also. She's always be here with us. She's part of Travel Tech already. Thank you, Paula. Sorry for my I don't know what I do with my with my hair. It's incredible.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
The other way you can use, for example, is doing can be a really stupid thing, but give a free beer. You just give a QR code and if you tag me, I give you a free beer in the bar or in the swimming pool. A free beer can tag and just can be an overloaded promotion for a free beer. And everybody, I will do it. If you give me a free beer, I will do it a lot of times during the day.
Just think all the things you did for a free beer before.
Well,
the things that we do for a free beer, man.
It's true. And if I may just add on to that, because obviously what we're talking about very much incentivizes travelers, but we also shouldn't underestimate just that they want to share their own experiences anyway. So even if you have reminders throughout the property, like these are our hashtags, tag us. Maybe you have that sort of Instagrammable moment place. I have mixed feelings on that, but that can also be an option. But if you have that place that's got that cool backdrop and you're trying to encourage people to post that you've got that reminder, or even just other places like by the pool, like by check-in, whatever that is, those reminders will just inspire travelers to share it, and you don't have to really pay anything for it.
There's so many opportunities like that. Even, like you say, you don't even incentivize. People want to do it. It's like a self-generating, self-perpetuating thing. I mean, a front desk says, "Hey, please feel free to share these things." They do. Nobody has to, do anything for them. And so it is something that can be encouraged, but also, it has a lot to do with the interaction between. First of all, it has to do with the sophistication of the hotel, because if a hotel has a lot of infrastructure and can do a lot of this development, what's something? It's more along to what Vinicius was saying, is they are focused, they know exactly what they want to do. They're not being haphazard about what they're doing. However, if you have, let's say, a smaller hotel and they don't have that kind of budget and they don't have that kind of time, but they're gonna have to leverage the power of those people who are coming and willingly wanting to share their photos and their experiences. You all know that it's all about experiences these days. And so it's just a simple thing like upon checkout, the front desk receptionist saying, please feel free, tag me in it or tag the hotel. And that goes a long way, especially if they're happy, you know? So it's real practical stuff depending on the level of sophistication of the hotel.
And maybe even write on a key packet. Oh, sorry, keep going.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
No, I just was so it's like it can be something as simple as like writing like the username and hashtag on a key packet, or if you do happen to send an amenity, you know, maybe write that like how cool, especially like with something as simple as amenities, because we all send them at certain points, you know, depending on the property. But even in the card that you send with the amenity, it has that information, because you better believe it. If somebody gets an amenity that when they're staying at a property, they are going to photograph and share that like crazy. And you just made it.
I was going to say something. And one thing is like what we do is we put like these little, little chocolate as they're going. We have a little card with that chocolate, and you know you could put anything on that little card. It's not a big card, and so it's like, oh wow, I got this little chocolate. And for us, it's nothing, but it's like for them, it's like, look, it just caps it all off. They had a wonderful trip, and now they can go share it. You know. Or
even better, you can go in a QR code and give you 20% for your next trip. Come back and get this, and they'll be valid forever. Anytime you come back, they're going to give you 20% or an upscale. You can do that. Technology is there for that. Because remember, for example, if we use upselling with the social media, because what we see is a lot of hotels not using the upselling stuff, and normally hoteliers understand the upselling start only when the guests arrive at the hotel. No, that is wrong. That is wrong. When the reservations finish through your direct booking or through booking.com or to your tour operator or to your PMS, and then they receive an email saying, hello, I'm here. Here's a reservation. Welcome to the hotel XXXXX. Here you have the link for upselling. Here you have the spa. Here you have what to do during your stay during this in our destination. You can start buying before you arrive. When you arrive, you can do your upselling with your credit card. You don't even need to sign nothing at all. You don't need to use the PMS. And when you go and said, okay, when you're coming back, give you 20%, I give you this and that, and coming back, we're gonna waiting for you. That is the main point of the upselling stuff, for example. But people don't see it. Sorry for that. I love what I do. It's 20 years.
In that respect, also, guest relationship management tools are really important. I mean, just simple ones such as email templates ready to go, post-booking, pre-check-in. So an example is I booked a stay, just sort of 2-3 nights at a hotel in Italy. We're going for a wedding in around April time. And it's in a really beautiful region, and the hotel itself is really cool. It's like an old, I think, castle or fortress or something. It's all like old stone, and the rooms look very sort of both modern and old at the same time. Anyway, once I made the booking, they sent me an email with about sort of 4 or 5 amazing sort of activities within the local area, sort of within a sort of mile radius of the hotel. One was, I think, horse riding in some national park. The other one was like some, I don't know, wine picking or whatever it may be. And also sort of very brief information about the hotel itself and its history, just sort of easily digestible information. Immediately that got my sort of imagination going, thinking, wow, you know, how can I fit this in? How can I do this? And it not only was sort of highlighting what the hotel has to offer, but also the local region, really sort of highlighting that sort of, again, bringing that connectivity and, you know, if one of us wins, everybody wins, etc. And for sort of the modern generation or the new generation, I can imagine their brains will be like, oh, cool, like this would look amazing as a sort of Instagram story. This would look amazing as a TikTok experience. And again, that sort of perpetuates the sharing and the promotion of all of these things. So just something as simple as that, sort of a pre-prepared template email, just to highlight these things and to get people's imagination and creative juices flowing before they come. You know, I think something like that can be really effective as well.
Awesome. So let's go to the next question because we have a lot of things to talk about. At the moment, we have more than 180 people watching us live from everywhere in the world. So awesome. So let's go.
Hold on. 180 people? Oh no, that's not enough. You guys need to share this so we can get some more people on here.
Let's go to Nima and Anvar. Nima, the question is for you. How has social media affected the way travelers communicated? I will repeat the question. How has social media affected the way travelers communicate? So it's your turn, my friend. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Sarah mentioned it, and I think you guys all touched on it. These days, millennials are really at the forefront of the whole travel movement, and they're, even though, first of all, everything they want to do has got to be instant. It's got to be right at that moment. They want it fast. They want it quick. And our experience with guest chat is they're less inclined to pick up the phone, and they prefer to arrange everything online. But still, they don't mind having a human assistance if they have a problem. And so where for us, I mean, obviously the whole communication thing for us is chat. And the idea is to be able to have a hybrid model that allows people who are, involved in any kind of communication, whether it's on WhatsApp or, a live chat model, to not only be able to have an automated chat, but also have somebody take over if they're having difficulty. And I think also talking about, a concierge service, the question is, where does it get to become personal? Because it's one thing is, okay, I want to have my question answered like that, immediate, give it to me. But then there's another thing is like, okay, well, automated chat can only go so far. And at what point, first of all, does the person on the side feel comfortable to say, I now need to talk to somebody? And then at what point is it not worth it? You have to think about all these things. And so travel has changed very much along those lines. Personalization, being able to share an experience, and to be able to use, I think, chat as opposed to, at least so far, as opposed to voice, with human support if needed, and only if needed. That really is the trend that we're seeing across the board.
Awesome.
Completely.
Bruce?
Listen, my daughter tried to FaceTime me, and she's right next in the room next to me. Like, the millennials, they don't play when it comes to that chat. They don't want anything else sometimes. Like, they just don't want to be bothered. They're in their own world at times, and the less human contact, the better, even if it's their parents. So I agree 100% on that one.
Karen? Something you want to add, man?
To this topic, yeah, I mean, again, it's very much a case of, as you say, in noticing, being aware of, and being on top of, shifting trends, shifting ways of communication, shifting platforms. And so, if you are aware of those things, and if you prepare for those as a business, as an individual as well, but more so as a business, especially within the travel sector, which I feel in many ways is actually behind other sectors in terms of how it sort of adopts the technologies that are quite, let's say, sort of free, with low barriers to entry, etc., compared to, say, retail sector, banking sectors, tech sectors, etc. Then of course, those are really important factors to consider, and can also be very beneficial in terms of the business and how you communicate with your customers, your guests, etc.
Thank you so much, man. Sarah Dandashy.
Yeah, well, again, it's you're looking at social media as an extension of your communication arm, and the plus side is if people have something great or they want to reach out about something, maybe an upcoming stay, it's very likely that instead of going to your website and finding an email, and then emailing sales or reservations, they'll probably just send a message on maybe Instagram or on other social media platforms. Yeah. So I think it's really important to understand that social media is like it's any of the platforms that you are on is an extension of a ways for travelers to communicate with you. So it's important to be on top of them, respond within a timely manner, and then also have the right protocols in place, because, For example, look at Twitter, for example. If somebody has a problem with a company or a business, you can look at airlines, first thing they do, they send a complaint as a tweet,
Airlines never refund. That is the problem here.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that is a big problem. We are hoteliers. We always need to refund.
Exactly.
Sorry about that. I have a
No.
problem with airlines. Every time I lose an airplane, they never refund.
Exactly. Well, I mean, but its case in point is that it's like we can even look at ourselves in other sectors of even the travel industry, and it's like how we're treated and then how that ultimately makes us feel. So I think that's something to very much understand that, again, it's not just social media is not just an advertising platform. Yes, that is part of it, but it is very much a way that you can start the dialogue with future guests and then even follow up as well too. So it's not something to sleep on.
And just one quick thing to add on that as well. There's actually a lot of really interesting technology out there now, sort of aimed specifically at the say hospitality sector, where you can sort of amalgamate all the different mediums for communication. So whether that's Instagram, WhatsApp, email, chatbots, etc. And so you're able to sort of get this all in place and then actually send your reply communications to whichever channel you select as well. So somebody could write to you through Instagram, you could reply to them on WhatsApp, etc. So there's really interesting things happening within that sort of communication field as well.
Yeah. Such a good point. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. So let's go to the last question, but not the least, and then we go to the discussion topics that we're going to have today. We go with Kerem Sezer, Global Partnership Manager at Hotelrunner. Kerem, why is TikTok being hailed as the future of the travel industry? I'm going to repeat the question. Why is TikTok being hailed as the future of the travel industry?
So I guess this is could be seen as a bit of a provocative question, like how dare I suggest that sort of TikTok is the future of the whole travel industry. But in reality, what I wanted to talk about was more from a general and visionary perspective about what we can learn from shifting trends in the travel marketing space, what the new generation wants to see, how they want to communicate, be engaged with, and how TikTok caters to these new and sort of developing behaviors. This can then inform our vision of the future of the sector and help us to adapt and thrive within that new landscape. So there's a great Expedia advert at the moment starring Ewan McGregor, and in it he asks, do you think any of us will look back on our lives and regret the things we didn't buy or the places we didn't go? Now, I refer to that because in the travel industry, we're not selling a product that could be marketed necessarily in a straightforward or pragmatic way. We're selling discovery, adventure, culture, excitement, and holistic experiences. In short, we're trying to visualize a concept, which is a challenge to capture in a single image or a bit of text. And TikTok in particular presents a great solution for this. So TikTok videos encapsulate the music, food, history, sights and sounds of a destination instantly. And it's possible to be transported there and fully engrossed in seconds. And I don't think any other platform at the moment can sort of match that level of immersion with that speed. So focusing on sort of the shifting trends, I mean, social media platforms are adapting to changing consumer behaviors. So different age groups use different channels for travel content. So let's say like the boomer generation is using Facebook, Generation X are looking at Pinterest, and millennials are sort of tend to favor Instagram. Now, the younger the target market, the harder it is to get their attention and keep them interested. But with the market leaning towards video content, platforms like TikTok are a must for travel businesses to capture attention. So video content is becoming simple, personal, and short to digest, and TikTok is sort of providing the tools that people can apply to that creation. And as such, it's overtaking the more sort of established social media channels. So this is why Generation Z or Generation Z is sort of 10 to 25-year-olds. They're all running towards TikTok. And while it is, of course, important to sort of keep engaging with your current audience using Facebook, Instagram, etc., TikTok is where your future audience will be and are. So engaging with them now is going to pay dividends in the future. And sort of other sectors like fashion, retail, and tech brands are recognizing this. They've already recognized this, and the shift, and they're leveraging the power and exposure. So the hospitality sector, I think, cannot afford to fall behind in this regard. And there's obviously lots of reasons. I mean, TikTok is a sort of very fun and positive outlet compared to other channels. Lots of TikTok users, over 31%, go on it because they say it sort of lifts their spirits. It's much more about sort of show and tell, with a huge emphasis on fun and easily digestible content. So we've recently obviously gone through a terrible time in our industry due to COVID and other factors. But even during that terrible time, companies were using TikTok to spread positivity, laughter, creating new conversations and engagements with their future customers. So Ryanair, for example, while most of its flights were grounded, they generated big buzz on TikTok with light-hearted fun and humorous videos. They knew that the sector would recover and flights would resume. So, within that time, their quirky videos and humorous content, they amassed 1.6 million strong following. These are all the people that, once travel resumes, are maybe going to be taking Ryanair flights. So in terms of why I've sort of focused on TikTok in particular, I guess the short answers are sort of increased engagement, decreased marketing budgets, and less saturated space with, say, like advantages in the algorithm. So, for example, the average daily usage of TikToks per user is 94 minutes, which is more than any other platform, and probably longer than we're all going to be speaking together combined today. And the average video engagement is, say, 29% compared to between 3 and 5% on Instagram and Facebook. And also from a sort of ads and marketing perspective, you can make your ads on TikTok almost indistinguishable from regular content. And so people on other platforms, Instagram, etc., which have become inundated with brands, plastering their adverts and, content that's been paid for, etc., people are just ignoring those. Whereas on TikTok, actually, because of that newness and the fact that it's harder to distinguish, people are more sort of open to it. And also, from a perspective of the algorithm, it's based on favoring not the number of followers, but the number of interactions generated within the first hour of the video. So if the content is good, an account with 50 followers, like a small hotel or whoever it may be, can get tens of thousands of views. So the relevant currency on the platform is not the number of followers you have, but the number of interactions, which sort of democratizes the exposure of content, unlike other platforms. So, travel content is a flourishing sector on TikTok. Travel influencers have created content for destinations with, hashtag travel, hashtag TikTok travel, seeing more than sort of 50 billion views combined. Yeah. So, in short, TikTok is great for capturing moments effectively. It's new, it's exciting, there's less sort of barriers and boundaries. From a marketing and business perspective, TikTok is still in the realm of the first adopters. There's less competition and fewer big name companies fighting over the same target audiences. And it's still developing, and as such, it's not yet defined by sort of clear boundaries and rigid algorithms like the other platforms. So the rules are still being defined. So you'll have much more room, for your business marketing for experimentation, trial and error, and getting a lot more expansion on your reach. And so obviously today's young travel consumer has changed. They want multiple options available to them immediately, often in one place or platform. They're less committal generally, have shorter attention spans. It sounds insulting, but I don't mean it to be. But they like to live for the now. So TikTok really is a response to this change. And I think it's important that we understand sort of the transient nature of social media in parallel to the changes in society and the way that we live and travel. Now, if you can't tailor your communication for the modern traveler, you won't necessarily be able to convert them to customers. So, today it's TikTok. Tomorrow it can be the metaverse, virtual reality, or something, we can't even imagine yet. So really understanding the shifting patterns in the travel industry and adapting accordingly will help us thrive in the new landscape. And the examples are all around us.
Yeah, man, I was gonna go like that.
I know, it was incredible.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Can I add something to this? Because first of all, everything that you just shared was incredible. But
Yes,
and
yes, it is. Awesome, Karen. Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. The part that you told that TikTok takes you very fast, very to that place, that and all the information. Wow, incredible. Sarah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I want to add on because you definitely touched on this with like the different hashtags and that there's this element as well, and obviously TikTok is still very favorable as far as algorithm and again how you're explaining it, the democratization of the algorithm and all of that. So true. There's another element that we should consider, individuals should consider because of the demographics and this sort of this notion of gamifying the travel experience. And by gamify, it's like by creating these challenges. And so and then you create these hashtags, like what was it? Delta did one, because I was just actually like pulling a little bit of this, like favorite trip challenge hashtag, and it's like how cool that you can do that. Next thing, and you better believe it, if once they start gamifying, like how great was your experience with XYZ business or XYZ destination, everybody wants to get on board with that. And it shows it's all just a different way to kind of get marketing and get out there and share the experience. But don't underestimate, doing those little challenges, especially on a platform like TikTok, because it can go and build like wildfire. And that's not even just your video. It's what maybe your challenge started, and then all the other stuff that everybody else created.
Yeah, 100%. There was another, I didn't use the example just now, but I forget the name of the company. I think it was Hotwire. It's like an Expedia-owned company. And they had done a campaign with a prize of a $50,000 private jet flight plus holiday, etc. And they were like, send a video of, why you need to get away or why you need a holiday. And there was just loads of these sort of hilarious videos of people with like 20 babies around them or screaming, and then they're just looking miserable or whatever it may be. But then that sort of that buzz and the fun, and as you say, the challenge element of it as well, I think generates just like a really positive and proactive and fun atmosphere for the whole platform and for the businesses as well.
Awesome. That was awesome. Karen, you surprised me, man. Surprised
glad
me.
to, yeah. That's everything. I haven't got anything more to say, unfortunately. I've run out.
I got a quick question. Do you feel like Snapchat is dead? Because I can't take all those commercials. It's like a commercial every 2 seconds. Like I just can't do it. I don't know what you guys feel about it, but
I never use it. To be honest, I never use it.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll be honest, I'm not a Snapchat user really, but I think adverts in generally are, being inundated constantly with adverts from companies and products is boring. You don't want that on your social media platform. And one every now and then is okay, but once they start, every second post, third post is an advert, then
if you have an ad each 30 seconds, you stop using it. Stop using it because it's too boring.
Something I thought about too, Kerem, that I think you're right about. I mean, I was thinking as you were talking, but I think one of the reasons that your use case there is real good is because if you see even YouTube Shorts and all these other things that are coming in don't seem to really, first of all, be able to grab that market as you see that this is happening and everybody's trying it. There's a lot of people trying it, but nobody's getting it right. And so it seems to me like you're right, and it's just something that totally escaped me until you mentioned it. I was like, yeah, are you getting paid for this? Because it looks, it's true.
We have a question here. They're talking about the fourth industrial revolution or the Great Reset. Oh man, ever since the revolution, we don't have a reset. Ever since an evolution. So I think I don't know, it's the fourth industrial revolution because the revolutions is every time. We have each 6 months on the technological industry, we have a revolution. each 6
We do
months.
we do the great reset every day. It's called Control Alt
Yeah,
Delete.
if you think that way, yeah. We need to disconnect. Fuck.
Control Alt Delete. You want to see the reset?
So we have here great points from about TikTok.
Yeah.
And okay, so right now for the public that is watching us, if you want to prefer to set your questions, because right now we will have 2 point of discussions. Then we're gonna finish or the travel tech. So if you have questions, please write down, and I will ask at the end of the session. So I will go to our first point here that we're going to discuss all together. What are the most common mistakes that hotels make when it comes to social media? We talked about this already a little bit, but we can go deep a little bit. So I will repeat, what are the most common mistakes that hotels make when it comes to social media? So what are the points that you want to come over? And I'm going to repeat to attendants, please, if you have questions, write down, because we're going to finish in 20, 25 minutes. We're going to finish the show. So if you have questions, it's the opportunity to interact with these big sharks. We don't have every day the time to ask to Sada or to Karen or to Bruce or to Nima. To me, you can. If you send me an email, I'm going to answer you.
I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna start this one off. The most
Go ahead,
common
Bruce.
mistake that the most common mistakes that I see is with hashtags. They don't use a lot of local hashtags. They use all these big hashtags, but like people that know that area, that visit that area a lot, they know the local stuff. So when you're not using your local hashtags, you're making it harder for people to find you. And the second thing is there's SEO inside of social media. It's rarely talked about, but a lot of properties, they don't know how to take advantage of the SEO and use it to their benefit, so that they're out ranking and they're being out searched by everyone else who does know how to use the SEO inside of that program. Because getting reach is one thing, getting seen is another, and that has a lot to do with the SEO, because it has all these search features inside of it.
One good thing to use the hashtag, for example, is based on your geolocalization. If you check from where people is watching you, try to tag those cities or those regions to try to make those people watch you more or try to convert. That is one of the other things I can tell you about also. Go ahead, the other ones, Karen.
Yeah, so I guess to sort of expand on that point as well, it's maybe for businesses in general as well, is trying to do too much and to reach to too many people. So like you're saying, keep the hashtags localized, keep them relevant to what's in that area. But likewise, your posts, keep them authentic to your voice and to who you think that your customers are, not who you want or trying to attract the largest demographic, but sort of keep it genuine. And also another interesting sort of aspect like with that as well, if people are using influencer campaigns, whether it be hotels or travel destinations, etc., destination management organizations, is to use micro influencers as opposed to paying the big bucks to somebody with millions of followers. Those followers may or may not even be necessarily active or engaged, whereas a micro influencer with even 10, 15,000 followers, sometimes less, but those followers are really engaged with that influencer, and conversions, whatever it may be, are actually a lot higher. So just localizing it, keeping it relevant, keeping your message genuine, and not trying to appeal to everybody at all times.
Awesome. Sarah?
Unless it's Sarah. That doesn't count with Sarah.
No, but he's exactly right. I mean, I'm a big proponent of micro influencers because, I mean, as we all know, sometimes these larger followers, yes, you might have a lot of people that like engage with the content, but then are they actually the ones that like click buy, click book? And that's really what you care about at the end of the day, like really like focus on that. And so all too often, and then also is that content creator creating content that is applicable to your brand. I know brands that are like very like family centric and this, and then next thing you know, they have like bikini models at their property. And I'm like, cool, they look great. There's a place for that, but like, is that really connecting? So that's based, kind of taking, speaking a little bit more on Kerem's point, is that like making sure that whoever you're kind of working with really actually reflects it. But a couple quick, easy points that I think a lot of people is that they just don't use it at all, or they just overlook it. So they're really like, hotels that are just not really tapping into that is a huge misstep on that part. Also, consistency. And be consistent. It's like, it's one thing if you just post like every so often, but if you're not consistent with it, that certainly is not ideal. Another part of it is the engagement factor. You're not just using social media as a beacon to just spit out information or share images. Like, it's the engagement. It's the conversations that you're having, within the post. It's responding to the DMs. It's to all of that. So definitely, it's not a one-way street. It's a reminder that this is, again, the start of the conversation. And then those that just don't focus on the experience, I kind of touched on this earlier, but really just kind of putting those like static posts up, and they might be beautiful and they might be great to like share about your property on booking.com or like even on your website. But you want there to be something that just like, it feels real and it feels like it's engaging. And so really when you tap into that experience, it takes a little bit of a step forward.
Awesome. Nima, do you have any point that you want to add?
I would just piggyback on what everybody has said. I think the one thing I could add is, and it has to do with consistency, but it's really sustainability. Is it that you can maintain a regular flow of posts without overposting or underposting, and that you can keep it going for a very long period of time? And I think obviously both Bruce and Sarah have a lot of experience in this area, because if you're not able to go long on this, and you're intermittent and sometimes you post, sometimes you don't, that lack of consistency means that you didn't really come up with a sustainable plan in terms of social media. So that's what I would say.
And don't sleep on weekends. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you the number of people that are like, oh, we don't post on weekends. I'm like, what? People are at home and they are playing on social media on the weekend. So figure that out.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that don't post on weekends. Maybe on LinkedIn don't post on weekends, but the Facebook and Instagram go ahead. Let's go to the last point here. We have a point of discussion from the last one was from Sezer and Dandashy. This one is from Nima and Anvar. That is, what's the future for social media and travel? But more than social media, what is the future for travel? I'm going to ask you, all of you, what is the future for travel and tourism on the next 5 years? What do we see?
Well, I can tell you,
because we have metaverse coming on board.
Yeah, that's the metaverse.
We have the distribution changing. We have a lot of things that will change in the next 5 years, and will change a lot. We have a virtual reality that's coming just on this.
Mm-hmm.
And not the Google ones that didn't work. There are now ones that will work, not the Google glasses that didn't work. This one will work. Because Google was a fiasco. It didn't work at all. But the ones that we're going to have is a augmented real reality. And we have the metaverse. And I really don't think hoteliers are prepared for that.
No.
My point of view, they're not. However, the youngs, they are expecting this. Young people will walking around with this, seeing reality and virtual reality at the same time. I don't think so I'll be able to do it. To be very honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I will do it. I don't think I will put and see ads at the same time I'm walking through a real nice beach,
Yeah.
I don't see I will do that. But young people, maybe they will do. The next generation. How you see the future. That is a point of philosophy. Right now, you can use your philosophy, how you see. Expand your minds. Be free and speak about it.
Well, I mean, from the way I see it is, obviously you just mentioned it. The whole metaverse is this whole new universe. And I think if you're a little bit older, it is slightly foreign, like you said. But this is a reality that could mean that a hotel could actually have a counterpart in the metaverse where somebody far, far away could literally walk through the hotel and have that experience right from their living room, whether it's, on a headset or anything like that. And then we get all over to NFTs and all that's caught, messed into that. Honestly, if you try to explain to a hotelier an NFT, they would be like, what are you talking about? Unless they're at the cutting edge of this sort of thing. You really have to go to the next level to explain that there's possible assets, digital assets that a hotel could actually, apply to an NFT, present it as an NFT. And then of course, all the rest of it that I can't even guess at, things like voice and basically AI that's not just with chat, because our business is now in chat, and now it's going to voice AI in the metaverse with these digital NFTs, and you're wondering, man, how is this going to work? And everybody to tell a hotel right now, listen, you're going to have some real estate that you're going to pay for that's not right here in your hotel, but it is a counterpart to your hotel. And there's so many things that you could make. It's almost foreign to them, let alone say, hey, there's going to be AI, voice, and all these things. So the future, as I can see it, is just wide open as to what could be.
Awesome. Sarah?
I'm laughing at that comment.
Yeah. I said that somebody's waiting for you in Cali. What are you doing, Cali, Sarah? Told us.
Right.
In Colombia. Huh?
I don't know. Bruce, we got to connect for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm over here in Redondo Beach right now.
Well, not too far away. West Hollywood.
I just came from Cancun. Cancun was lovely.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I was for business, so it was not that lovely.
Not that much of a
I don't go to the beach. I just work in a suit. And meet in a hotel.
Well, if I could chime in, just on what Nima said, by the way, which is incredible. And I love that you're bringing up the metaverse, NFTs, all of that. I mean, that's very much the future that we should be mindful of. And those that aren't aware should definitely start, educating themselves because, that very much is the future. I mean, I think also that maybe in the more immediate is, travel is back. It's like for those that have been out there, that have been on the road, people are definitely back out, depending on the destinations, be it a vacation destination or maybe more of a city, and, kind of looking to fill up more for business travelers. I mean, it's coming back, and people are definitely, more comfortable with it. And social media is it is very much a part of that story. It is very much a part of the digital footprint that your hotel should be, and your property should be just mindful of. It's the future. So if you haven't started integrating stuff before, you definitely should do it now and have fun with it. That's the whole thing. I think all too often people get like, so social media isn't exciting for them anymore. But it's like, if you can kind of find the voice of your property and like have some fun, it makes it so much easier to do. And at the same time, then guests and potential future clients see that and they respond to it in kind. So there you go. My little nuggets on the future of travel.
Thank you, Sarah.
I'm going to focus on the financial reality of the future of travel. We really don't have much of a business sector anymore, but we all been surviving off our leisure. I just came from Fort Lauderdale, and they were out there in bikinis in the rain. Okay, gas prices is at almost. I'm in California. I never seen $6 gas price before until I got here. Gas prices. I said I'm never complaining about Florida gas prices again, which is like $3.50. Gas prices is through the roof, and people are still traveling. So you have no business sector. You have high gas prices. You have COVID. You have everything against you. And travel is still surviving. Travel will never die. It just multiplies.
For sure. That is for sure. People need to travel. It's basically, this should be social. It's part of what we are. This is the basic of the human being. If we lose that, even the metaverse and everything, we lose the human being, then it's going to be like the movie from the 90s. You're going to be an avatar. Just push yours. Then, whoa, Sorry, I don't want to be an avatar. Karen, you want to say something, my friend?
Yes, sure. So, I mean, in terms of the future, I think you guys have covered a lot of great points, and I wouldn't have much to add necessarily in terms of the future of social media, etc., because we could sort of see where the industry is shifting. But even the present, where we are, I feel I deal a lot with hotels, hoteliers, etc., especially given the sort of technology we have, and it's sort of a bit sad to say, but that sector is actually, I think, quite far behind where it needs to be in terms of the key thing, which is connectivity. So, Nima, you were saying if you try to explain an NFT to a hotelier, they might not know what you're talking about, or metaverse. I mean, first of all, I wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about either. Like, people are talking to me about NFTs all the time. I'm just sort of like, sure. But secondly, I could talk to a hotelier who's been, doing that for 10 years, etc., about a property management system solution that they might use for their property, and they won't have an idea what I'm talking about with that. And that's, in theory, the heart of their system, their technology stack. So really, just that the amount of still sort of unconnected hotels and properties that are out there, the ones that aren't sort of regularly updating rates, the ones that don't even have a booking engine. There's so many. I mean, I think there's around like 14 million out of sort of 15 million global hotels and accommodations that are still yet technically unconnected. So really, just sort of, I think the future or the present should be about getting us to where we need to be in that regard. And then we can, start sort of really focusing on how to progress from there. And just very briefly as well, I think sort of creating these mini travel communities. So, like the example I used of the hotel that had sent me all these sort of cool things to do in the local area, etc. I think hotels can feed off more, collaborate more and connect more with local attractions, with local experiences, then use social media to sort of connect all those experiences. And really, connectivity is the key in all those formats, I think. So really bringing it up to speed where it needs to be and continuing from there.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, to be here. Just want to tell everybody tomorrow is going to be our last day for US and Canada. We're going to have our 2 last photos. We're going to have the 12 EST. We're going to have how to improve your profit for luxury hotels through direct sales, revenue management, and marketing strategies. Don't lose it. We're going to have the CEO of Book Online Now, Director of Communication of Party Tech, the President of EV Hotel, Senior Director of Sales of Milestone, Senior Customer Success Manager Duetto, and Market Director of a hotel, the Hotels Network. And in the afternoon at 15 hours EST, we're going to have, I think, one of the most important topics and the most innovative topics we're going to have in travel tech, NFT, Web 3.0, crypto, blockchain, payment facilities, how this technology is applying to the industry. We're going to have the CEO of EV Hotel, CEO of Visual, CEO of Pink Data, CEO of Exposito Intellectual Enterprises, VP of Tipalti, and John Ruiz that will be here for the blockchain. So from Director of Sales for Kiwi.com. So don't lose the opportunity. It's going to be the last. Everything that we do is recorded. You can find everything on our YouTube channel, also in our website. Next week, everything's going to be edited. So you'll be able to see all the editions. All the editions already edited. If you want to check all the other years, that's the 3rd year that we have Travel Tech Online. So if you want to watch it, you have it. Also, we have traveltechacademy.com where you can have your certification in different areas. And I would like to invite Bruce, Karen, Sarah, Nima, if you want to provide any masterclass for free through Travel Tech Academy, we will love to support you and to provide this as Travel Tech promotes inclusion and free education all over the world. And we are unique on this on this project. We're the unique one doing this in the world, providing inclusion and free education and content and high caliber with higher executive as you guys. Thank you so much to be here. I will pass through all of you like this. You can say goodbye. Bruce, I go to you as the first.
Thank you so much for joining us. You know what to do. HotelYouTube.com. Come check us out. I'm also going to be doing some more stuff with Travel Tech in the future. Probably do like a YouTube class so you guys can help master YouTube. I feel like that's the hotel industry biggest weakness, and I had a great time. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Karen from Hotelrunner.
Yeah, just again a big thank you. It's been amazing taking part. This is sort of the first type of event like this that I've ever done, and it's been a great experience, and especially sort of learning from all of you guys. And so I'll definitely take that on board, and hopefully we'll continue the conversations as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Karen, to be here. Welcome. Sarah Dandashi, Ask a Concierge. Thank you so much to be here, darling.
Thank you. So great to be here. And I love this discussion. You can see there are a lot of passionate and knowledgeable individuals on this panel. It was an honor to be on here. And always happy to continue the conversation as well, too. So if you guys saw something on here and you want to connect, find me online everywhere. But this has been such an honor. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Nima, Anvar, it's your turn, my friend. Guest chat.
Listen, I just want to say thank you guys. It was really educational, informative. I learned way more than I shared, but I'm thankful for that. I'm glad for the opportunity. And yes, Vinicius, I'm going to try to see if we can put together something so that we can offer with it when it comes to chat and these type of things for hotels. But just really blessed to connect with you guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the attendance that we have all over the session. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye, guys. Ladies.
All right.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.